Emma sat quietly in her dimly lit living room, the weight of 3 decades pressing heavily on her chest. A single tear traced a path down her cheek as she gazed at the family photos lining the mantelpiece. Images of laughter, shared birthdays, and the warmth of sisterhood that once defined her life. All that remained of those cherished memories felt tainted by the bitterness of a feud that had torn her and her sister, Anna, apart. She was no longer the vibrant woman in the photographs. Time had etched lines of regret across her face, making her acutely aware of the moments lost to pride and misunderstanding. Before we delve deeper into this poignant tale, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support means the world to us and is the only way to ensure these touching stories reach a broader audience. It truly helps us continue our work, so please subscribe now. As she wiped her eyes with a trembling hand, Emma reached for a blank sheet of paper, her heart racing with an unfamiliar mix of hope and fear. The pen felt heavy as she poised it above the page. Thoughts of Anna flooded her mind. Her sister's laughter, the way they used to share secrets in the dark, and the unbreakable bond they once had. But now, all she could feel was the chasm created by their mother's death and the inheritance dispute that had spiraled into a bitter divide. That rift had left them both feeling like shadows of their former selves, each haunted by what had been said and unsaid. Emma took a deep breath and began to write, pouring her heart onto the page with the urgency of a woman who knew time was not on her side. She wrote about the loneliness that had enveloped her since their last confrontation, the guilt that gnawed at her every night, and the yearning for reconciliation that had become a constant companion. Each word felt like a small release, but the ache of her sister's absence remained a heavy burden. Meanwhile, Anna was caught in her own spiral of regret, each day passing without a word from Emma. She had longed for a gesture, any sign that her sister still cared. The silence between them had become a deafening roar, a reminder of the hurt they had caused each other. Anna often found herself reminiscing about their childhood, recalling the long summer days spent together, the dreams they shared, and the secrets whispered under the stars. But those memories were tinged with sadness, overshadowed by the unresolved feelings that had grown like weeds in the fertile ground of their love. As Anna sat on her porch, sipping a cup of tea and watching the sun dip below the horizon, she felt a pang in her heart. The world around her felt muted, as if the vibrancy of life had been dulled by the absence of her sister. She picked up her phone, scrolling through old pictures, smiling faces, carefree moments, and felt the familiar sting of loss. The years had passed, but the wounds had not healed. They had just festered, and Anna often wondered if it was too late to reach out, too late to mend what had been broken. In the quiet of her home, Emma continued to write, her pen gliding across the paper as she bared her soul. She wrote about their mother, the anchor of their family, who had always sought to keep them united. Her death had exposed the fragile threads that held their relationship together, and now those threads felt frayed and worn. Emma poured every ounce of her heart into the letter, hoping it would bridge the gap that had grown between them. She spoke of forgiveness, of understanding, and of the desire to face the past together, to confront the pain that had driven them apart. With each stroke of the pen, Emma envisioned Anna's reaction. Would she be angry, hurt, or would she finally feel the flicker of hope that had eluded them both for so long? As she sealed the letter, a sense of determination washed over her. No matter the outcome, she had taken the first step toward healing, and that was a victory in itself. Days turned into weeks as Emma waited for a response. Each time the mail arrived, her heart raced, only to plummet when the envelope bore no sign of her sister's handwriting. But she remained resolute, clinging to the belief that Anna would eventually respond. And then, on an otherwise ordinary day, a letter arrived, its familiar scrawl sending a jolt of electricity through her veins. With trembling hands, Emma opened it, and as she read, tears streamed down her face. Anna had poured her heart into the reply, sharing her own struggles and regrets. It was a letter filled with raw emotion, a testament to the pain they had both endured in silence. Anna wrote of her longing for connection, her fear of rejection, and the hope that one day they could find their way back to each other. Emma felt a flicker of warmth in her chest, realizing that Anna had never truly given up on their bond. The exchange of letters became a lifeline for both women, a way to express what had been buried for so long. They shared stories of their lives, their families, and the ways they had grown, both in joy and in sorrow. Each letter revealed layers of understanding and compassion that had been absent in their past interactions. Slowly, as the words flowed back and forth, they began to peel away the layers of hurt, revealing the raw, vulnerable selves they had hidden for far too long. As the letters continued to pour in, Emma and Anna found themselves at a crossroads. The time had come for face-to-face confrontation, a meeting at their childhood home, the very place that had once been a sanctuary filled with laughter and love. They both knew this reunion would not be easy, but the prospect of finally seeing each other again ignited a spark of hope that had been dormant for decades. With apprehension and excitement swirling within her, Emma prepared for the visit. The familiar surroundings of their childhood home were both comforting and intimidating, a reminder of the bond they once shared. As she stood in front of the door, memories flooded her mind. Family dinners, birthday celebrations, and the endless adventures they had embarked upon as children. Would they be able to reclaim that joy? Would they be able to weave their lives back together, even if just in part? As the door creaked open, Emma's heart raced. She was about to step into a moment that could change everything, a moment that would either solidify their bond or deepen the chasm between them. Unsure of what awaited her on the other side, she took a deep breath, steeling herself for the encounter that lay ahead. Would they confront the shadows of their past? Would they find solace in each other's arms once more? The answers awaited her, and with each heartbeat, she felt the weight of possibility hanging in the air. As the door creaked open, Emma's heart raced. She was about to step into a moment that could change everything, a moment that would either solidify their bond or deepen the chasm between them. Unsure of what awaited her on the other side, she took a deep breath, steeling herself for the encounter that lay ahead. Would they confront the shadows of their past? Would they find solace in each other's arms once more? The answers awaited her, and with each heartbeat, she felt the weight of possibility hanging in the air. As the door swung open wider, Anna stood there, her expression a mix of surprise and cautious hope. Time had etched its mark on both of them, the once youthful faces now marked by the experiences they had endured. A moment of silence stretched between them, filled with unspoken words and emotions that had been locked away for far too long. The air was thick with nostalgia, and for a fleeting instant, they were transported back to their childhood. The laughter, the secrets, the shared dreams. Emma, Anna finally whispered, her voice trembling slightly. I wasn't sure you'd come. I had to, Emma replied, her voice barely above a whisper, but firm with the weight of her decision. I couldn't live with the regret of not trying. They stood there, both enveloped in a cocoon of memories and emotions that swirled around them like the gentle autumn breeze outside. Emma stepped forward, crossing the threshold into the home that had once been a sanctuary for both of them. The familiar scent of their mother's cooking lingered in the air, a bittersweet reminder of the warmth that had once enveloped their lives. Anna stepped aside, allowing Emma to enter, and as she did, she felt a rush of memories flood her senses. The living room was just as she remembered, adorned with photographs and mementos from their childhood. Yet, the space felt different, heavier, as if the ghosts of their past lingered in every corner. Emma turned to Anna, her throat tightening as she took in her sister's face, searching for any sign of the connection they once shared. "Do you remember the summer we built that treehouse?" Emma asked, a tentative smile forming as she tried to break the tension. "We thought we were architects, designing our own little kingdom." Anna's lips quirked into a smile, and for a moment, the years fell away. "I remember. We were so proud of it, even if it was just a rickety old thing. We had a sign that said, 'No boys allowed.'" Emma chuckled softly, the sound echoing through the stillness of the room. And yet, somehow, the neighborhood boys always found a way to invade our space. That laughter hung in the air, a fragile thread reconnecting their hearts. But as quickly as it came, The laughter faded, replaced by the heavy silence of unaddressed pain. Emma felt the weight of the years pressing down on her, the strained moments that had led them to this point. She took a step closer to Anna, her heart pounding in her chest. "Anna, I've missed you," she said, her voice catching. "I've missed us." Anna's eyes glistened with unshed tears as she looked at her sister. Vulnerability etched across her features. "I've missed you too, Emma. Every day. But I didn't know how to reach out. I was so afraid of what you'd say." Emma felt a rush of emotion as she took another step forward, closing the distance between them. "I was afraid too. Afraid that we'd lost something that could never be found again." As they stood there, inches apart, the weight of their shared history pressed down on them, threatening to suffocate the fragile bond they were trying to rekindle. But there was also the flicker of hope, one that had been reignited through their letters, a determination to confront the past and find a way forward. "Can we talk about everything?" Anna asked, her voice trembling slightly. "About, Mom, and what happened after she died?" Emma nodded, her heart aching at the mention of their mother. "I think we need to. We can't move forward without facing the past." Together, they moved to the couch, the familiar fabric a reminder of countless hours spent talking, laughing, and dreaming. Emma felt a chill run down her spine as she settled onto the cushion, memories flooding her mind of the times they had shared there. But this time, the couch felt different, as if it were a battleground for the emotions they had both buried. After Mom died, everything felt so chaotic. Anna began, her voice thick with emotion. The inheritance disputes, the accusations, it was like we were fighting each other instead of mourning together. "I know," Emma replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "I felt so lost. I thought I was protecting what was rightfully ours. But in the process, I pushed you away. I didn't want to lose you, but I didn't know how to reach out." Tears brimmed in Anna's eyes, and Emma felt her own heart ache at the sight. "I was angry, Emma. Angry at you, at the situation, at everything. I thought you didn't care about me, that all you cared about was the house and the things we fought over." "I cared," Emma said, her voice breaking. "I cared about you too, but I was so caught up in my own pain that I couldn't see yours." The room fell silent as they absorbed each other's words, the weight of their shared sorrow heavy in the air. Emma could feel the years of resentment and hurt beginning to unravel, threads loosening as they spoke. The honesty between them felt raw and necessary, a balm for the wounds they had both carried. "Do you remember the night before Mom's funeral?" Anna asked, her voice trembling. "We sat on the porch and talked for hours. It was the last time we really connected." "Yes," Emma replied, her heart aching at the memory. "We promised we'd always be there for each other. But then everything fell apart. That promise feels broken," Anna whispered, tears spilling down her cheeks. "But I want to fix it. I want us to find our way back." Emma's heart swelled at her sister's words, a flicker of hope igniting within her. "We can try. We can take it one step at a time, together." As they sat there, the air around them shifted, the tension easing slightly as they began to share their fears, regrets, and hopes for the future. The conversation flowed like a river, each word a small step toward healing, a bridge to reconnecting the fractured pieces of their relationship. They talked about their lives since that fateful day, the joys and sorrows they had experienced separately, and the longing for connection that had endured despite the distance. "Sometimes, I feel like I've lost so much time," Anna admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "I let pride and anger cloud my judgment, and I never wanted to lose you." Emma nodded, her heart aching in response. "I feel the same way. The years without you have been some of the loneliest of my life." As they spoke, the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow through the window, illuminating the room in a soft light. It felt as if the universe was encouraging them, wrapping them in a blanket of warmth as they slowly began to mend the fabric of their relationship. "Can we start over?" Anna asked, her voice fragile, yet filled with determination. "Can we be sisters again?" Emma smiled through her tears, feeling the weight of years of hurt beginning to lift. "Yes, I want that. I want us to be sisters again." As they embraced, a wave of emotions crashed over them. Relief, sorrow, hope. In that moment, they both understood that while the past could not be changed, the future was still theirs to shape. They had taken the first step toward healing, and that was enough to ignite the spark of love and connection that had always existed between them. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to comment from where you are hearing this amazing story. As they pulled away, the weight of the past lingered but felt lighter, as if they had shared the burden of their grief and regret. Emma looked into Anna's eyes, seeing the reflection of her own pain mingled with hope. "We have a lot to work through, but I believe we can do it. Together." Anna nodded, determination etched across her features. "Together. And maybe we can even find a way to honor Mom in the process." The idea resonated deeply with Emma. Their mother had always been the heart of their family, the glue that held them together during the stormy times. "Yes, let's do that. Let's remember her the way she would want us to." As they began to talk about ways to celebrate their mother's life, laughter filled the room once more, a sound that had been absent for far too long. They shared stories of their mother's quirks, her favorite recipes, and the lessons she had imparted, each memory a thread weaving them closer together. In that moment, Emma felt a surge of gratitude for the exchange of letters that had brought them to this point. The courage to reach out had unlocked a door they both thought was forever closed. It was a reminder that even the deepest wounds could be healed with love, understanding, and a willingness to embrace vulnerability. As they planned their next steps, Emma felt a sense of purpose revitalizing her spirit. They would face the challenges ahead, not as adversaries, but as allies, united by the love that had always existed beneath the surface. And with that realization, the future began to. As they planned their next steps, Emma felt a sense of purpose revitalizing her spirit. They would face the challenges ahead, not as adversaries, but as allies, united by the love that had always existed beneath the surface. And with that realization, the future began to take shape in their minds. One filled with shared experiences, laughter, and perhaps the healing of wounds long thought irreparable. The days turned into weeks as Emma and Anna worked together to honor their mother's memory. They organized a small gathering with close family and friends, planning to share stories and reminisce about the woman who had meant so much to them. The preparations filled their days with laughter and a renewed sense of camaraderie. Each time, they recounted a cherished memory of their mother. The bond between them deepened, and the shadows of their past began to recede. On the day of the gathering, the air was filled with anticipation. Emma stood in the kitchen, preparing one of their mother's famous dishes, while Anna arranged flowers in a vase. The familiar scents wafted through the house, creating an atmosphere of warmth and nostalgia. As they worked side by side, they found themselves slipping back into the comfortable rhythm of sisterhood, their laughter echoing off the walls. When the guests arrived, the house was alive with chatter and joy. Emma and Anna welcomed everyone with open arms, and as they moved from one story to another, the room transformed into a tapestry of memories and shared love. They listened to anecdotes about their mother's kindness, her fierce spirit, and the way she could light up a room with her laughter. As the evening wore on, Anna took a moment to glance at Emma. She could see the joy radiating from her sister's face, a stark contrast to the sadness that had once ruled their lives. It was a reminder of the journey they had embarked on together, a journey of healing and rediscovery. "Thank you for doing this," Anna said softly, her eyes shimmering with emotion. "I never thought we'd find our way back to each other." Emma smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Neither did I, but I'm so glad we did. Mom will be proud of us." As the night came to a close, they gathered everyone in the living room to share one final toast in honor of their mother. With glasses raised high, Emma felt a sense of unity enveloping the room, a palpable bond that transcended the years of silence and pain. "To our mother," Anna began, her voice steady despite the tears glistening in her eyes. "May her memory live on in our hearts, and may we cherish the love she gave us." "To our mother," the guests echoed, their voices mingling in a chorus of remembrance. In that moment, Emma felt a profound shift within her. The weight of regret, loss, and pain began to lift, replaced by a sense of hope and renewal. She glanced at Anna, their eyes locking in a silent understanding that they were stronger together. As the guests began to leave, Emma and Anna lingered in the living room, the memories of the evening still fresh. They sat together on the couch, the comfort of their shared history wrapping around them like a warm blanket. "Let's promise to keep this connection alive," Anna said, her voice earnest. "No more silence. No more misunderstandings." Emma nodded, her heart brimming with emotion. "Yes, let's make it a priority. We owe it to ourselves and to Mom." From that day forward, they embraced a new chapter in their lives. Regular phone calls, weekend visits, and family gatherings became the norm. Each encounter was filled with the laughter and love they had once taken for granted, a testament to their resilience and commitment to rebuilding their sisterhood. As the seasons changed, so did their relationship. They found themselves sharing more than just memories. They began to create new ones, bridging the gap that had once seemed insurmountable. Emma introduced Anna to her grandchildren, and together they forged new traditions, celebrating birthdays and holidays with the warmth of family that had been missing for so long. Time flowed on, and while the scars of their past remained, they no longer defined their relationship. Instead, they served as reminders of the strength it took to confront their fears and embrace vulnerability. Emma and Anna were no longer just sisters. They were allies, confidants, and friends who had weathered the storm and emerged more resilient than before. Years later, as they sat together on the porch of their childhood home, they watched the sun dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. Emma turned to Anna, a smile lighting up her face. "Can you believe how far we've come?" Anna chuckled, her heart full. "It feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? But I wouldn't trade this for anything." "No, neither would I," Emma replied, her voice rich with emotion. "I finally feel at peace." As the last rays of sunlight faded, they sat in comfortable silence, the weight of the years behind them replaced with a sense of hope and promise for the future. It was a testament to the resilience of love and the power of forgiveness, showing that even the deepest divides could be bridged with courage and understanding. In that moment, Emma knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, united by the bond that had once seemed lost but had ultimately been rediscovered, stronger, deeper, and more beautiful than ever before.